DeWalt will kick off for Whiteland. Jack Pennington and Chandler Drummond are back deep for Seymour. High end-over-end kick. Drummond takes from his own 10. Looking to get to the far side. Now cuts back, finds some room, and is taken down at the 35-yard line. But a nice run back there by Chandler Drummond.
Yeah, nice little move there, and starting off in pretty good field position.
Seymour comes in 3-6. We'll take a look at their starting lineups. A look at the offensive line, which Coach Moore talked about. They've progressed as the season has gone on. A very young group of receivers, 2 freshmen out of the 3 you see on your screen there. And the quarterback, first year starting, is Cody Rubel. They've talked all year about how strong of an arm he is. They throw it about 40% of the time. 1st and 10 here for Seymour. Handoff right up the middle. And goes for a gain of 3 or so. Keep in mind, Whiteland is without a couple of normal starters, and we'll try to update you on those as the night goes on.
Yeah, Seymour started out with 3 wideouts to the left there, and it was kind of interesting to see how we had such a cushion there in that situation. I think their run's going to set up their pass situation here in this series.
So 2nd and 7 for Seymour as the Whiteland starters are introduced on your screen. First possession of the game, Rubel from the gun. Looking to throw, looking near side. Thought about scrambling, now throws, and that is incomplete. There were 2 receivers and several Whiteland defenders in the area, and it brings up 3rd and 7.
Yeah, he heard people coming after him pretty quick there, but he's got to catch that. I mean, that's one of those opportunities that could be the difference in success in a series here early or not.
Chris, one surprise here, Ewan Nickham, the 3-year starter at corner, would normally be lined up closest to us. He's not on the field. We were expecting him to be out there, and he is not. And it appears that Jacob Smith, a junior, is starting in his place. 3rd and 7 for Seymour. Rubel checks with the staff, now shouts out some instructions to his team. Rubel wanting to throw. Looking deep, near side, has a man. He caught it, but he couldn't come down in bounds.
See if we get a replay on that, because that certainly looked like a completion to me. I mean, I thought it was a great pass. If anything, maybe a little bit wide to the left there. But I think he got to step in there first. We'll see if we can get the replay up here or not from Colonel Sanders.
Here comes another look. Drew Veslage was the intended receiver there for Seymour.
Just off of it.
Yeah, hard to tell there. It was awfully close. Again, they called it incomplete. Brings up 4th and 7. And Caleb Elliott is on to punt it away for Seymour. Low snap. No rush. Really nice punt. And a fair catch called for and taken by Jacob Smith for Whiteland.
You know, I still like the play call there by Coach Moore, though, throwing down the field to Drew. I think that's a good way of kind of opening up this Warrior defense here and testing a little bit off the bat, which, again, I do think one of the biggest weaknesses is their interior on those slant routes. And if you also notice, Whiteland started out in a nickel package as well defensively.
So Whiteland's offense takes the field for the first time this evening. 10:50 to go first quarter. We are scoreless. And a couple of offensive linemen that normally start out tonight as well. 1st and 10 here for Whiteland. Handoff Valentine. Valentine, as he's done all year, finds room. Valentine to the far side and knocked out of bounds after crossing midfield. Chris, we've talked a lot about Chase Valentine, but I'm not sure we've talked enough about him.
No, we didn't talk a whole lot about him in the pregame show, and I don't know if we've talked about it enough. But that's just a great move. The biggest thing is he waited for his blocks to get there to get additional 5 or 6 yards on that as he kind of slid his way over to the left sideline there.
1st and 10 now for Whiteland. Ball sits at the Seymour 47. Seymour's first drive ended with a punt. This one will be Singleton. Singleton, nice cut up the field, breaks a tackle, going to have the first down and more. And Singleton still on his feet, finally brought down at the 15-yard line. 2 plays and 2 big runs for Whiteland.
Yeah, I got a couple of things I could say right now, but the biggest thing is I think that getting Singleton involved right off the bat. That's a great run right in the right corner there, and he just turns the burners on there, turns that corner, and great run by him. And so much for thinking Whiteland's going to be rusty, particularly that offensive line having two guys out tonight. So far, they're playing quite well in two plays.
2 long runs to start the drive, and now Whiteland into the red zone for the first time tonight. Back to Valentine. Valentine with room. The 5 and into the end zone. 3 plays, 3 runs. And it ends with a Chase Valentine touchdown. Warriors up 6-0 here early.
Yeah, that drive was men amongst boys. I'm not trying to be mean on that if you're a Seymour fan, but Whiteland dominated the offensive line on those 3 plays, and the running backs benefited tremendously from that. But Valentine he took care of business in each of his runs, and Singleton took care of it on the second run there.
DeWalt on for the point after. On the way and good. And Whiteland leads it 7-0. 10-13 to go first quarter. And you talked about it, Chris. We wondered if Whiteland would come out with any rust at all. And I sure haven't seen any, if there's any there. They force a 3-and-out. They field the punt cleanly. 3 plays later, they're into the end zone. And one of the things that almost looks a little bit shocking for this Seymour team is just the physicality of this Whiteland offensive line.
Well, and that shows the type of teams that Whiteland plays and other teams in the mid-state play outside of the conference throughout the year. To be candid with you, you don't have that same kind of type of player consistently down in southern Indiana. You have some schools that are there, but it's just not consistently within each of the counties down there the same level of football as it is here in the central area of the state.
So Whiteland goes up early on. You know, the other thing I noticed for Seymour is just the drastic difference in teams that they play. You have a 3A opponent on the schedule all the way up to Columbus East, which is 6A. But certainly, you're right. The schedule that Seymour plays throughout the year, not what Whiteland's is.
But that's not a fault of their own. That's correct. That's just what's around them.
Geography.
That's geography. That's the reality of it. That's tough.
DeWalt approaches.
Good kick.
End-over-end kick. This one will back Drummond up to his own 5. Had a nice return the first time around. Not going to get as much this time. Yeah. Brought down at about the 17-yard line.
So now we talked about how good a start the offense got off to. You think about it, Seymour had a drop they should have had. There'd been a first down there, and the second play of the first series for Seymour. So now you kind of see if they can get that rhythm going for them, because I still want to see how we do defensively. I don't think it's as much we stop them as Seymour stopped themselves in that first series.
Of note, Ewan Nickham is now on the field for Whiteland, so he did not play in the first series. He's out there now, and with 10:06 to go in the first quarter, Seymour takes over 1st and 10 at their own 18-yard line.
Brett's wide open. Don't he like to guard him?
Rubel coming near side. Finds the receiver. That receiver is driven out of bounds. That's the freshman Brett Perry with about a 4-yard pickup on the play.
Yeah, Brett Perry, I was wondering if anybody was actually going to go up and defend him, and ultimately number 9 for Whiteland, Ethan Tanner, went up there and defended him, but it wasn't until the closeout. He was a good 12, 15 yards off him, playing more towards the hash marks.
2nd and 7 here for Seymour. Drummond is the man in motion. Rubel going to hand it off the right side. Fumble. It looks as though Whiteland diving after a fumble. The Whiteland players say they have it. The officials trying to figure it out, and it looks like it'll bring up a 3rd down here for Seymour, so the Owls able to recover.
So with all the advancements that Lucas Corley has done here for the broadcast throughout the year, has he got the pylon cams in so we don't have another IU Penn State scenario coming up this week?
I think Lucas said, "Open up your checkbook, Chris." If I heard that correctly,
sir, he makes more money than I do. That's for sure.
3rd and 4 for the Seymour Owls. From the gun, Rubel rolling far side.
Oh,
over the middle, had his man.
Threw
and
behind
it's
him.
Incomplete. Yeah, not the throw that he wanted there. The receiver had come open on the play. That was Jack Pennington. would have been good enough for a first down. Instead, it brings up 4th down, and the punting unit will come on for Seymour.
It almost looks like he was trying to go out to his right, but nice job by Jacob Smith to kind of take away that right flat pattern, which allowed him to have to come back and look down more in the middle and have to adjust, and just couldn't adjust easily enough.
So Caleb Elliott, who had a really nice punt the first time around, trots back onto the field. And gets another nice punt off here.
Oh!
Punt is fumbled and then recovered immediately. Thankfully, Whiteland able to hang on to it.
Yeah, Jacob Smith initially doesn't get contact with it quality-wise, and then he's able to pull it back in there. But great starting field position again for Whiteland here in their second drive. And again, defensively, I think that time Whiteland definitely dictated things a little bit more than that first series. So Whiteland's defense is starting to get some mojo as well.
8:31 to play first quarter. Whiteland leading 7-0. Seymour has had the football twice. Both were 3-and-outs that resulted in punts. Whiteland's first play, or first drive, I should say, was 3 runs that resulted in a Chase Valentine touchdown. Here's Crowley. He breaks a tackle, breaks another tackle. Now Crowley loose on the near side, knocks a defender down, and finally driven out of bounds at about the 27-yard line of Seymour. Crowley's been impressive all season long, and the sophomore there breaking tackles on his way to a big run.
But just look how many guys block in this play and how many guys are going down the field to block. I mean, that's a credit to what the coaches teach day in and day out, because you've got 2 guys that are replacements tonight, and they're all out there just flying down the field.
1st and 10 for Whiteland. Back in Seymour territory, Valentine. And picks up 6 on the play.
Yeah, just nothing fancy there. Valentine, I mean, that may have been his the slowest play he'll have all night, to be honest with you, and one of the slowest we've seen all year. But he just finds it. He gets a gap. He gets 5 yards, 6 yards out of it, and I guess more like 8 yards. But still, it's a deceiving 8 yards, because it's the least flashy of the plays he's had so far in the last couple of games.
From the gun this time are the Warriors. 2nd and short. Handoff goes to Valentine. Valentine going far side. Cuts it up the field inside the 10. And driven out of bounds somewhere near the 5-yard line. The chains are going to move. It'll be 1st and goal for the Warriors.
Yeah, the key block was by number 33, Landon Wood, who kind of got the guy sealed out to the left, which allowed Valentine, after he got outside the hash marks or the numbers, to turn it back upfield and get that extra 4 or 5 yards in that place. So great block there by Landon Wood, no relation.
7:30 to play first quarter. 1st and goal here for Whiteland. Coons back under center here. Pitch for Valentine. Valentine cuts it up the field and walks into the end zone. Whiteland goes up 13-0 here in the first quarter.
Great blocking. I mean, that comes down to just great blocking and Valentine finding the vision and finding the gap and taking it. Great job. Oh, we got a penalty. Touchdown's good, though.
Touchdown is good. It's a sideline warning against Whiteland. The points will stand, and Whiteland now will try the point after.
I tell you what, if I'm Coach Moore, I'm irked. Because if you got players or coaches on the other side too far up next to the sideline, how do you get a warning? I'm sorry. Because that could be the difference in the game. It's a safety thing, I realize, but great run by Valentine, great blocking.
DeWalt back on for the point after. Kick is up, and it is good. Chris, we've not talked a lot about DeWalt. He is the kicker and the punter for this Whiteland team. He has done a really solid job all year long, handles the kickoffs, the point afters, the field goals, and the punts. And I think he's 3 of 3 on the year, if I remember correctly, in terms of field goals, but he's done a solid job all season long.
Yeah, and it's not because he's not been given the opportunities. It's just the offense has been so successful in so many games of getting the touchdowns instead of having to go for the field goals. But, yeah, he's got a great leg. He's very accurate, both and obviously in the place kicking game, but also in the punting game, and just done a really solid job as a senior, and should be very appreciative. Speaking of seniors, let's give a huge shout-out to Quentin Gillespie in the tennis program for getting to the state finals. He had to retire after muscle cramps, leg cramps, I think it is. But just a great job by Quentin Gillespie. I know his dad's got to be proud being the head coach and everything, but kudos to him for all he did this year. And also another shout-out to Will Jefferson. Good luck to him tomorrow on the state cross-country meet, and him and Jerry Emerson in the program.
Really good fall for Whiteland athletics. You mentioned Quentin. He lost in the semifinals. He had won the first set, lost the second set, and I think he was up 2-0 in that third set before the leg issues started up. So great season. We certainly are disappointed for him that he wasn't able to continue on, but still a terrific effort on his part. Again, Drummond going to be driven out of bounds at about the 22-yard line, and that's where Seymour will take over on their third drive of the game.
Yeah, Quinn Warwick did a good job of standing him up and driving him back about 2 yards after he turned that corner there. So great tackle by Quinn Warwick for Whiteland.
Big drive here for Seymour. They've got to find a way to move the chains. They've gone 3 and out their first 2 series. And coming off of those 2 drives, Whiteland has run the ball right down the field and scored on both occasions. And we'll see what Seymour can do here.
With short fields both times.
Rubel from the gun. They've just missed on a couple of pass plays. Rubel had a deep pass that we thought was completed down the near sideline that they said the receiver had stepped out of bounds on. Rubel this time far side, and one hops it to the receiver. It's incomplete. He was under duress there trying to throw.
Yeah, I don't know if Lucas can get this replay up for us, but number 50, Lenario Greer, got right through their little step to his left with a swim move and plowed him over.
So
right
here
through
it
the top.
is. Yeah, you see Rubel had no time at all.
Had to
Brings
rush
up
that
second
pass.
and 10.
Yeah, great pressure by Lenario Greer there. Good job by Lucas getting that up for us. Thank you. I wonder if he can tell us what the original recipe is.
You're going to have to explain this at some point. We don't have a visual.
Well,
of
we'll have to go
Lucas.
stand in front of the camera guy at some point because it's a great Halloween costume.
Pass near side. That's caught. And going to be a very short gain. The freshman Brett Perry catches and is driven out of bounds. Going to bring up 3rd and long here for Seymour.
But it's a completion. And it gives you some confidence for the quarterback here and your wideouts and see what you can do. But you've also got to be smart. I mean, you don't want to turn it over here. Although you're averaging about 25 yards a run.
So 3rd and 10 for Seymour. 7 minutes to go, first quarter. We've seen Rubel's arm that we've heard about all week. This time Rubel goes over the middle and he overthrows his target. Had Veslage out there and had found a little seam in that Whiteland defense, but the pass a little bit too far out in front of the intended receiver, and that's going to bring up 4th down.
Yeah, that's what you call the Michael Penix for 3 quarters and 13 minutes of the IU game last week. Just a little bit high, but it's a great look. I mean, I like the play call. It's a safe call as far as I'm concerned, and we'll see what can happen. But another punt.
Elliott back on to punt it away.
Oh.
He fumbles it, picks it up, missed it. Whiteland going to pick it up. Now it's bobbled around. Whiteland going to take over there.
Lenario Greer in there, but
and Hughes comes up with it for Whiteland. So the Warriors going to take over at about the 12-yard line. And that was too bad. Here's another look at it. The snap was pretty good.
Yeah.
But on this cold night, Elliott was unable to field it. And then as he tried to pick it up and punt it, I think he just whiffed trying to punt it on the run, and Whiteland going to have incredible field position here.
So much for a slow start for Whiteland after not playing for 3 weeks, or since 3 weeks.
If anything, they look even more laser-focused here this evening so far.
Yeah, they look like a team that's happy to be out there playing.
Valentine has the first 2 touchdowns for the Warriors. He is on the field here, but they look to throw. Kuntz has a man. Sullivan wide open, touchdown Warriors.
That is a great rollout. Nice, composed. And Sullivan wide open there, and that slant to the left corner of the end zone. Beautiful play there on the pass from Kuntz to Sullivan. See if we get a replay on it.
Seymour was sold out for the run there, and you see Sullivan slip out on the left side. The linebacker was chasing. There was a safety about 8 yards trailing the play, but Sullivan wide open in the left corner of the end zone, and Whiteland up now 20-0. Extra point is up. It is good, and Whiteland with a 21-0 lead, 6:45 to go in the first quarter. And if Coach Fisher had written the script, I'm not sure he could have even projected this to go as well as it has so far for his Warrior team.
No, he's got to be very pleased with both sides of the ball here. I think the defense has definitely stepped up the last two series. The first series, I think more Seymour kind of impacted themselves or hurt themselves there, but these last two series defensively they played very well. And then also on top of that, I think the offense has just done a great job blocking up front. Again, with two guys out tonight that are experienced players, and they haven't missed a beat. I mean, they look like they've been playing nonstop here week after week.
Touchdown there for Max Sullivan for the Warriors. And now Whiteland will kick it back off here to Seymour. Coach Fisher talked about the importance of starting fast. Boy, his team sure has done that. And now if you're Seymour, you come in off of a 3-6 year. You've lost your final two regular season games fairly badly, and all of a sudden you find yourself in a big hole here on the road. This is going to be tough sledding for this Seymour team. I'm sure Coach Moore would like to see his team fight and do everything they can to try to continue to compete in this football game, and they'll have their opportunity here as DeWalt prepares to kick it off. Drummond and Pennington back deep. This is a short kick to the far side. It's fielded cleanly by the freshman Perry, and he's taken down at about the 34.
Yeah, that's kind of an interesting decision where to kick. That was an intentional kick that way. I don't quite know what the strategy was behind versus trying to get him back as far as you can, but that's a good field position for Seymour to start right off, that's for sure. This is the first time, by the way, I've sat down the entire year, Morgan.
Sitting behind me.
I am, yes. I haven't had to worry about the left side of the field yet.
So 1st and 10 here for Seymour. Whiteland with the lead here early on. Play action pass, and again, too high for the intended receiver. Veslige again was cutting towards the inner part of the field, and the throw just too high.
Yeah, and Veslige, I think, is a little frustrated on that one because, man, I thought he had a great route there. He's 6'3", and he still was overthrown by about 2 feet, and he definitely had an opportunity. If that ball's down lower, I think he has that ball, and I don't know if he's going to say he's gone, but he's got a couple yards for sure after the catch. Just too high.
Well, and because of the high throw, Veslige went up to get it, and Nickham was able to make a physical play, and Veslige took a shot there on his left side. So 2nd and 10, Rubel going to throw, has a man near side, and it is dropped. Even had the intended receiver hung on to it, he was already falling to the ground, and it brings up 3rd and 10.
Yeah, just rushed it. He kind of had to come across his right arm there, and you could just tell from the release that it was going to go wide to the outside and the backfield, and the reality was, I mean, you can obviously see he's frustrated himself on the pass. Great replay there for that.
3rd and 10 here for Seymour. Rubel will once again be in the gun. 2 pass plays to open this drive. Both have fallen incomplete. Rubel to throw once again. Under pressure. Over the middle. Has a man. And it's dropped. Interesting there. The receiver stuck one hand out. I'm not sure why he didn't go with both hands. And it's going to bring up 4th down.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what. The officials, in my opinion, could have called a roughing the passer or a late hit on Lenario Greer, number 50, on the quarterback. He came in there and hacked him pretty good across the shoulder pads, clearly a step or two after the pass was gone.
Dylan Fields was the intended receiver there for Seymour. Remember last time the punter was not able to get it away. This time a really good punt. Takes a Seymour bounce and going to be down at about the 24-yard line. Credit Caleb Elliott, who bobbled the last punt, comes back with this one and does a really nice job pinning the Warriors back to their own 24.
Yeah, farthest field position the Warriors are going to have start so far tonight here. Great kick there.
And Lucas just dropped by to tell us and remind us how quickly these Whiteland touchdowns have been scored. So if you look at the clock, not much time has expired between the three scores for Whiteland. And now all of a sudden they find themselves up 21-0 with still 6:21 to go in the quarter. And Valentine off and running. Breaking tackles. The 45 flag comes down near midfield. And I'm curious to see what that is because of where the flag was thrown.
I'm going to say it's an illegal block in the back on the offense. I don't think you can call a hold from that far away. It's not going to be a face mask, I would say. It's on Seymour.
It's a sideline warning against Seymour. So the official was trying to advance up the field and must have bumped into somebody on that Seymour sideline. So that's the second warning we've seen, one against Whiteland and one against Seymour.
Well, they mean business tonight, the officials do.
So 1st and 10 for Whiteland. Ball sits at their own 48. Coon's going to throw. Has Griffith. Nice move by Griffith. First down and more. And his progress was stopped at about the 36-yard line of Seymour. A nice short pass there, though, that turns into a first down, and Whiteland will move the chains.
I'd like to know what our average yards per play is right now. It's got to be at least 8 or 9 yards per play, if not higher, so far tonight. I mean, they're just chipping away here in chunks between big runs and then 6 to 8 yards and a couple of pass plays here.
1st and 10 for the Warriors. Coons in the gun. Hands off to Crowley. Crowley following Valentine this time. Crowley runs over a defender. Crowley inside the 20 and down to about the 15-yard line. Folks, Crowley just a sophomore, and he is one of the more physical young running backs you will ever see. We've seen it all season long, but watch this when he gets to the outside. He's following Valentine, turns it up the field, and wham, runs over the defender, gets himself down into the red zone here for Whiteland.
Yeah, they looked like that was Ryan Elmore, the defensive back for Seymour, that was run over quite easily there. But great run by Crowley.
Coons from the gun to Valentine off the left side. Valentine inside the 5 and going to be brought down at about the 3-yard line.
Valentine looks like a guy that's a man in a mission. We'll talk more about that here in a second. But he is full speed, extra Energizer Bunny, batteries ready to go here.
1st and goal for Whiteland. 5 minutes to play first quarter. The Warriors leading 21-0. Coons will be under center. And a bobbled exchange there. Flag comes in.
I would assume this is on Whiteland. Something with the snap, potentially.
My view is blocked of the official. If he's here comes the official call.
Offsides.
And it's offsides against Seymour. So half the distance, and we'll replay 1st and goal.
Yeah, Seymour just can't catch a break right now. Little things have led to big things for Whiteland.
Pitch play, Valentine into the end zone. And the Warriors lead now 27-0, 4:43 still remaining in this first quarter, and everything going right for Whiteland right now.
Yeah, I was going to say about Chase Valentine is, I don't know if anybody gets the Indianapolis Star, but Colin Edenrip had an article about prospective Mr. Footballs. And obviously Carson Steele, Center Grove over here is one of the guys definitely mentioned, but it was great to see that Chase Valentine was in that honorable mention. And as someone's been part of the Whiteland community here for a long time now, it's nice to see a Whiteland guy get the kudos that he deserves. Even if it's just honorable mention, that shows what this program does, and it shows the type of player Chase Valentine has become for this team this year. And make some noise here as they go to the postseason. He definitely wants to do that for this team.
28-0 now, Whiteland out in front. You mentioned Valentine. One of the interesting things about the way this year has played out is Normally when you get to this point, everybody's played the same amount of games. And that hasn't been true this year because of COVID. So Whiteland lost their last regular season game of the year. So to think how many rushing yards Chase Valentine has on the year, he came in with around 1,500. He already has probably, close to 100 in this game. You would think he's going to get to 2,000 yards. And again, that's without playing the regular season finale.
Yeah, I mean, it's impressive. And he's not a big guy. I mean, he just uses his speed, and he's so strong for almost be like a Barry Sanders kind of physique. Not a lot of height there, but a lot of power and speed as a result.
And I think what strikes me about Valentine is just how hard he runs.
Yes.
For a high school running back, he is exceptionally hard to bring down.
He's possessed.
Has 2 younger brothers, by the way, as well.
That was a sophomore, I think.
DeWalt to kick off. High end over end. This one will be taken by Pennington at the 15. He's trying to get to the near side.
He got it.
Nickham cuts that off. And now Tanner finishes up the play at the 21. And Pennington stays down. Now he's going to slowly get back to his feet. Thankfully, looks like he's all right.
So it's 4:36 left here in the first half. 28-0. Your Coach Moore. You got the ball. Man, you got to pass it, don't you? Or you, whatever your strengths are, and you're close to 50-50, so it's not like you're going to see him run it every time. Let's put it that way. But if you keep passing it and you don't get that success because you overthrow it, you're leading the chances for more points. Here's our annual train.
Rubel will hand off.
Nice run.
Room up the middle this time as the ball carrier gets out to about the 29. That's Drummond on the carry.
Biggest positive yardage of the night. Close to a first down there.
Maldonado with the tackle. 2nd and 4 now for Seymour. Rubel throws near side, completes his pass. Going to be the first down of the night for Seymour. And Vislage catches the short pass, turns it into a first down. Maldonado on the tackle for Whiteland.
Yeah, Staniford just couldn't quite get a hold of him there for Whiteland, and they're kind of calming down right now. I mean, you're down 28-0, but you got to get rid of the jitters, and those jitters are gone now. They've had a couple positive plays, and let's see if they can get some in here before the end of the half.
And again, Nickham not out there on this Whiteland drive. We saw this on the first Whiteland possession. Jacob Smith is out there in his place. It's 1st and 10 Seymour. Handoff up the middle. And a pickup of 4 or 5 on the play. So Seymour having much more success on this drive. That was Colin Greathouse, the other running back for Seymour.
Well, if you're Coach Fisher, you're starting to sub some guys in and out here as well. I mean, you haven't played for a couple weeks. Your conditioning's an issue, so you got to get some conditioning. But at the same time, you do not want any injuries headed into next week, no matter if it's Franklin or New Pal.
2nd and 5 for Seymour. Rubel looks over to the sideline. The Whiteland defense adjusts. And Rubel going to throw. Rolling near side. He's under all kinds of pressure, throws it up. And one of the coaches on the sideline comes down with it. Just no time there for the quarterback, and it's going to bring up 3rd and 5.
Yeah, Lenario Greer had nice pressure on him again. Greer's been all over him tonight.
Maxwell Sullivan going to come on for Whiteland's defense. He has played in spot duty throughout the year. He'll play that left defensive end spot. Sullivan about 6'6" and 240, has a touchdown on the night. Also plays basketball, which is right around the corner for this Warrior athletic program.
Hopefully not for a few weeks.
Handoff up the middle, broken tackle.
Short.
And the ball carrier going to be about a yard or two short of that first down marker. And you're exactly right, Chris. You hope that Maxwell Sullivan and these other football players on this Whiteland team who are on the basketball team don't make that transition too soon. The Warriors are hoping to host a sectional final next weekend. And if you win that, the likely opponent in regional is Cathedral, who is an awfully good team this year. 4th down. Seymour going to go for it. They're trailing 28-0 late in the first quarter.
He's got nothing to lose here.
Play clock winding down. Rubel going to throw. Has a man near side, and he breaks a tackle and gets the first down. Nice play there by the Owls.
Yeah, I didn't have a problem with being in the shotgun, but I'm really surprised you didn't hand it off there. I think but that also shows some confidence in your quarterback here. Do what you've done all year, I guess.
So Chandler Drummond makes the catch. Here's another look. He was open there in the flat and then did a nice job of getting around Hughes and picking up that first down. So Seymour has been able to move it into Whiteland territory for the first time tonight. 2 minutes to play first quarter. Here's Drummond. Met by Greer at the line. And a gain of 1 or so on the play.
Yeah. Greer's playing like an animal right now. Just he's all over the place.
One of the storylines coming into tonight was some of the offensive and defensive linemen for Whiteland that are unable to play this evening. So far, we haven't noticed much of a drop in production for the Whiteland offense or defense. As Seymour has it now 2nd and 9. Rubel hands off. Ball carrier driving forward. Another solid run.
Yeah.
And it's been a balanced effort for Seymour on this drive.
Yeah, it's been a solid run. And that play right there, and it's much more balanced. And it all comes down to they've had success in the passing game, which they've not had prior.
Well, Chris, you mentioned coming into the drive. What will Seymour try to do on this drive? And it's been the most balanced drive that we've seen. But part of that is you have a few more plays. You're moving the chains, and you're able to show more of your offense. 3rd and 4 for Seymour. Handoff up the middle, and no gain on the play. Again, Greer on the play for that Whiteland defense.
Be interesting to see what they do here. There's 41 seconds left in the half. It's 4th down. Obviously, I think you're going to go for it, but you're going to use as much time as you can, I guess. You do not get the ball coming out. It's Whiteland ball coming out to begin the second half.
Rubel from the gun. 4th and 4. And it appears that Seymour is going to take a timeout. They do. So with the play clock running down, Rubel was trying to get Whiteland to jump off sides. Whiteland stayed put. And a timeout here by Coach Moore. They're going to talk it over. 7.5 seconds to play first quarter. Seymour, their first offensive drive that can move into Whiteland territory, and they've got a 4th and 4.
But here's what I don't understand, Morgan. You're down 28-0. You got the ball in that situation with 42 seconds left. That was all intentional. Are you not trying to have a chance to get some points up on the board? That's what I don't understand is why are you not trying to take advantage of that full 41 seconds, so to speak? Even if you have to give the ball up to Whiteland, you have to be aggressive enough to try to go down the field to score, is my opinion. I don't see Coach Fisher trying to score with 41 seconds left. You turn it over on downs. I really question the play call situation there.
So 7.5 seconds to go. Now, keep in mind, it's just the first quarter. I know it's been a long.
Is this really the first quarter?
It is the first quarter. It has taken a while. And on 4th down, Seymour is going to be brought down short, and it is a turnover on downs. Whiteland will take over.
All right, now I feel really bad. Why did you... I'm Popeye's chicken compared to Colonel Sanders over there, I guess, or something, because I thought it had to be the second quarter, but I'm going to tell you guys, it's been a whirlwind week for me, and yeah, now I understand totally what Coach was doing there.
Well, to your credit, it was a really long first quarter. A lot of incomplete passes, a lot of changes in possessions, and so with 3.4 seconds remaining in the first quarter, Whiteland will have one more look at it here, leading 28-0.
Yeah, I scored a touchdown here. I'll really look bad.
Valentine, this time bottled up pretty well, still fighting his way forward, ends up with 3 or 4 on the play.
Now, see, he didn't want to have to go very far.
And that will bring us to the end of what was a long first quarter here this evening. Whiteland leads it 28-0 Whiteland will have it second down when we come back. This is Whiteland Warrior football on the Warrior Beat Sports Network. And we're back here from Whiteland. 28-0, Whiteland leads it. They have the football, 2nd and 7.
So real quick, I got to apologize to Coach Moore, because if I don't, that could impact my son's future in Center Grove football, since he's one of the highlights coming out of the second grade Bantam Football League this year. So I got to make sure I keep things good. Sorry, Coach Moore.
So 2nd and 7 now for Whiteland. Murray has it coming near side. Cuts it up the field. Going to have a Whiteland first down back into Seymour territory.
Did you see the little nudge that Max Sullivan gave as he started to turn the corner there and just kind of bumped him and got him upfield from there 2-3 yards on the play?
You know, Seymour has looked better their last offensive drive and this defensive drive, but they have put themselves in an awfully deep hole here as we start the second quarter.
Yeah. I'm trying to choose my words carefully now.
Kuhn's going to throw.
Going long.
Deep for DeBon, and put it too far out there in front of him. Kuhn's knocked down on the play. May have had a shot at DeBon had it not been quite so far. Going to bring up 2nd and 10.
Yeah, I got a little more air up under it. I think he might have had a chance, but I tell you what, DeBon closed in quicker than I thought he was going to on this play.
DeBon was behind the defense, and it surprised the Seymour team. And that's one of the things that Whiteland has done fairly well all season long. They only throw it about 10% of the time. But most of the time when they throw it, the defense is not expecting it. So they have done a good job picking their spots there. Singleton, the motion man. Valentine bounces off one tackle and only picks up about 2 yards or so on the play. I'm always so surprised when I see Valentine taken down after that little of a gain because of how many big plays we've seen him make all season.
Yeah.
So 3rd and 8 here for Whiteland.
Yeah, I mean, Seymour's definitely picked up their intensity level a little bit, both offensively and defensively here in this last series and a half here, starting on offense and now on the defensive side. That also shows how big a play that overthrow is to Kuhn's to DeBon as well. I mean, that puts you in a big hole here.
Kuhn's from the gun. Gives to Valentine. Valentine, room on the far side, has the first down. Valentine still on his feet, but they say he stepped out of bounds and the chains will move.
Think how many coaches in the state have the confidence on a 3rd down and 8 to say, I want to hand it to my guy, and probably have very high confidence that you have a very good chance of getting a first down of the play. Not a lot have that capability and confidence in a player, and you can do that with a Chase Valentine game in and game out.
One of the things that Coach Fisher has done this year, too, is that there have been some interesting wrinkles to this Whiteland offense that have been added. They have done some different things this year that have been effective. Here's Landon Wood, far side, and a short gain on the play.
And speaking of chicken, we need to thank Zaxby's for providing us some meal tonight. So I'll have mine here in a little bit. I haven't forgot about it, trust me.
It was excellent for sure. And we also want to thank our regular season sponsor of this broadcast. They're not sponsoring tonight, but they did sponsor us all throughout the regular season. That's Johnson County Axe Throwing. And we appreciate their support of our regular season broadcasts. It's been an awfully fun season. We hope you've enjoyed tuning in when you've been able to. Here's Valentine, far side. Good balance to keep his feet after the initial contact, and it's going to bring up 3rd and 6.
To put in perspective, they've had the ball now for about 4 minutes on this drive, and they scored 3 touchdowns in about 2 minutes of total time.
They scored quick, no question, in that first quarter.
Yeah, because I thought it was an entire week.
And one factor just to watch here, speaking of time, is if the Warriors lead by 35 or more going into the second half, we'll have a running clock in the second
New
half.
foul rule.
Kuhns looking to throw. Finds Sullivan inside the 10. The 5, can he get in? He will.
He got in, yeah.
Good agility on the play by Sullivan, and he has his 2nd touchdown of the night.
We have a flag. Out there about 24-yard line.
And that looks like the position of holding, and it
yeah.
is. So that's going to come back, and Sullivan is disappointed. I don't blame him. That was
he had
one
the
of his
dancing
better
toes
plays
there to get in that corner of that pylon there. I call it the IU pylon now, that left sideline.
Yeah, so many times this year, Sullivan has caught it running down a seam. That was one of very few times where he caught it crossing the field.
And it showed his agility there, his footwork.
It really did. It really did. That's going to come back, though. Whiteland going to be backed up for a 3rd and long now, and the ball will be placed at Seymour's 38-yard line.
I think you give it to Singleton or Valentine, personally, and then you bring in your special teams and see if you get a field goal out of this.
Probably not a bad time to have DeWalt out there to try a field goal as you're getting deeper into the playoffs.
Of course, if you could experience, yeah.
If you could choose, you'd rather get the first down or the touchdown. But again, if you don't pick it up, it would be a good chance to practice something here for DeWalt. Kuhn's going to throw. Far side has a man. That's Griffith. He makes the catch, makes the first man miss, gets past the second man, and I think he's going to have the first down.
Yeah, it's going to be, I think, close, but I think he's got it.
So first down for Whiteland. Their previous 3rd down attempt ended up being a touchdown to Sullivan that was called back on a hold. Watch Griffith here. Breaks the first tackle. Looked like he was going down on that second attempt, but stayed on his feet and is able to pick up a big 3rd down conversion there for the Warriors. And Whiteland down a man here, it appears. Kuhn's was looking to the sideline. Now they're going to go to Valentine. He spins off the first, stays on his feet, going to be close to a touchdown, and he's going to be down at about the 1-yard line. I didn't count the number of players on the field, but Kuhn's acted like they were a man short there.
Well, all you got to have is the 5 guys up there on the offensive line and then let Valentine take care of business, and he almost did there. But, yeah, it did look like they were short one.
So a good run by Valentine, even down a man on the play, and it's going to bring up 1st and goal here for the Warriors. 9:15 to go, second quarter.
Keeper, maybe? Nope.
Handoff, Valentine. Valentine back into the end zone.
For touchdown 4, correct?
I believe that is correct, and it's 34-0 Whiteland now. 9:08 to go in the second quarter, and DeWalt back onto the field for an extra point. Another look. That time Valentine hesitated as he waited for his blocks to set up and then found his way into the end zone. That drive was much harder going on the Warriors. They had a more difficult time moving the football, but it ends up with points. DeWalt, extra point, up and good. And Whiteland leading now 35-0, 9:08 to go second quarter. And I want to go back to that 3rd down conversion to Jacob Griffith. Did a really nice job. That's the second catch of the night, and on both of them, he's been able to make some people miss after the catch. So the senior, he's not gotten a lot of playing time, and it's good to see him have some success tonight.
And I have to admit, I haven't seen Whiteland here for about 2 years prior to this, but what stands out to me is our wide receivers and those guys, the running backs, whoever it is, who catch the ball out there. They just look so much more skilled in what they're doing when they catch it, when they do get the ball, are able to make the moves after the catch versus just catch it and hope you get those yards there. And that's a credit to this coaching staff again, because they, yes, offensively, running game is their dominant modality, but they can now pass with confidence that it's not just going to go for 4 or 5 yards. It could be an 8-yard pass and get an additional 8 to 10 yards after the catch.
So Chris,
let's a laser beam also when he wants to be on the pass.
Let's talk strategy here for a minute. Whiteland up 35-0. If you're this Seymour team, obviously it's a chance to get better and compete, and you want to make sure that you play till the end. But if you're Whiteland, it's interesting. You haven't played in 3 weeks, so you want to play enough certainly to get some reps in a game-like situation. But on the other hand, you want to make sure you don't get anyone injured. What is Coach Fisher thinking on that far side as we get ready to kick this thing off?
I think you probably go with your main guys through the half. I think the second half you sit most of them. maybe a couple of the guys you brought in who don't typically start in the offensive line area and defensive line area. But you also don't want to have more tape than you have to, because I think the understanding is for high school rules is you get to exchange 1 week's of tape officially. You have to exchange 1 week, and the other team gets to pick that week. And you think about it, Whiteland's done a lot of their dominance in the first half. So you don't want to show more than you have to as well offensively. I mean, you want to keep it as bread and butter as you can.
1st and 10 here for Seymour. 9:03 to go in the second quarter. The last drive for Seymour, they were able to move the chains a couple of times. Fairly balanced attack. Rubel looks to throw. Screenplay set up far side. He's got some room. And he's got a lot of room. Whiteland chasing down on the play, and they will bring him down, but not before a big gain there on the screen pass to Colin Greathouse.
Yeah, great play there. Ethan Tanner getting up slowly for Whiteland there, about the 40-yard line of Seymour. And if you're Coach Fisher, that is not something you want to see in terms of coming back and giving up that big play, particularly if you're considering taking some of your guys out and saving them. You want them to play well while they're out there.
Greathouse again, this time brought down right away. Stanifer on that last play ran down Greathouse.
Yeah, Mason Darlington. Looked like he had the tackle there for Whiteland on that one.
So 2nd and 9 now for Seymour. And speaking of film, you have to think as Whiteland advances, the screen is something opponents will come back to after seeing the big play there for Seymour. 8 minutes to go, first half. Rubel gonna throw. Looking near side. Had a man, and it's incomplete. Pennington was the intended receiver. Nickham in coverage for Whiteland.
And the more I think about it, with all these games, so many of these games are now on the IHSA network because of COVID this year, and I think it's going to be a long-term thing as a result of the success for so many different schools this year. A team can go out and watch any of these games they really want to. It doesn't have to be exchanging formally. There's just too many ways to see teams nowadays.
3rd and 9 here for Seymour. Rubel checks with the sideline. Rubel going to throw over the middle. Has his man, and then it's popped loose. Big time hit on the play for that Whiteland defense. That is their leader and the leading tackler on this Warrior Ball Club, Caden Welling, with a monster hit. Tanner tried to take it to the house. The officials are going to call him back.
Well, and Ryan Piles, number 70 for Whiteland, was all over the quarterback in that situation as well. That was blown up in a couple of different places. Watch Tanner here. Boom. We missed it right there at the end. But, oh, what a great hit, and what a clean hit there. One of the guys I feel bad about that didn't get a chance to start the IHSA sectional football tournament is Dan Rector, the former defensive coordinator here at Whiteland High School, who's now the head coach at Rushville due to COVID. No, he's worked very hard in that program there, and he's brought some success there just in 2 years. So wish him the best and getting ready for year number 3, but too bad he couldn't have a chance this year.
4th down here for Seymour. Rubel from the gun. Going to be a reverse, and he may want to throw. No. And Perry taken down, going to be short of the first down. Perry's a freshman who actually started the year as a quarterback, moved to receiver as injuries piled up for this Seymour team. And I think he was preparing to throw the football and just didn't have anybody open.
I agree. He was looking to throw it down the field, and with that arm he probably could have. But he paid the price with Ryan Piles leveling him about 2 yards later.
So Whiteland will take over. Turnover on downs. Seymour with a big play on that drive. A screen pass from Rubel to Greathouse went down the far sideline for a big gainer. Credit Stanifer, who prevented the touchdown. Whiteland gets the stop, and now they take over at their own 28. Coons, handoff to Murray. Murray looking for room. Murray has room, tries to cut it back, and steps out of bounds somewhere near midfield.
Yeah, great run around that right side there. And I tell you what, these Whiteland running backs, again, they're a product of the system, and they just have to take their individual skills and make that their little extra touch to what they do. But each of them are a little bit unique in what they do. But as a group, they give you a lot of weapons.
So ball sits at the Whiteland 43. 1st and 10 here for the Warriors. 7:38 to go in the second quarter. Valentine off the left side, trying to follow his blocks, now cuts it up the field. Valentine with room.
Wow,
the 30.
Gone.
Valentine, the 20, the 10, 5, touchdown, Valentine.
What a run. It starts up the middle, then he pops it out to the left, turns it again out a little wider to the left. What a run for touchdown number 5 tonight.
And we still have 7:27 to go in the second quarter. Been a long first half, and Valentine has had another monster evening. Watch the cut here, and then he gets it outside and just outruns that Seymour defense.
I mean, you want to talk about a guy who deserves a rest. It's Valentine for sure. Is he trying to get his 2,000 yards in one night?
You know, we were talking about that before the broadcast here tonight. I have a feeling he is not going to get enough opportunities to do that, but he certainly is well on his way to getting to 2,000 yards. There was a flag on that play. I think it was offsides against Seymour. Penalty was declined, and Whiteland will try it again. DeWalt with the kick. It is up and good. And make it 42-0 Whiteland. 7:27 still to go here in the second quarter. By the way, Chris, when we were talking about that in terms of how many yards Valentine might have tonight in the pursuit of 2,000 yards, we were curious to know what the single-game rushing record was at the high school level in the state of Indiana. Any guesses as to how many yards that would be?
363.
I believe, I don't have it up anymore on my phone, I think it was 581.
Brett Law, Sheridan?
No, it was 2013, and it was a back for North Central Farmersburg, I believe.
Oh, never would have guessed that. You remember the days when Sheridan was so strong, he had the Brett Laws and those guys coming out of.
I do.
Lucas Corley was in diapers back in those days. Does he remember Brett Law or Alex Smith for IU football?
He says he does not. I hear from the other room.
Well, I tell you what, Jace Valentine is going to give the Seymour team nightmares for the next couple of nights, and how he's just dominating tonight. But if you're Coach Moore, you can see some pieces of the puzzle. Even when things are struggling, they have some capabilities here. They can turn that around for next year for sure.
High end over end kick. Taking it about the 10-yard line. Drummond trying to get to the near side, and he does. Cuts it up the field. And for Drummond, this is his second really solid return of the night. This time gets out to about the 40.
Yeah, that's a great run back.
And DeWalt must have made that tackle. He seems to be celebrating as he's running back across the field. So Seymour will take over at their own 40-yard line after a really nice return by Drummond. Rubel once again from the gun. Fakes the handoff, throws far side. Pass is complete to midfield, beyond midfield, and going to be a first down for Seymour.
Yeah, Veslige was supposed to get up there and get a block for him, and number 80, Veslige, does not get out there to make that block for him. It's a great little pass there, but it could have been another 5-10 yards if that block comes like it's supposed to.
Dylan Fields was the receiver on the play for Seymour. I'll be curious to see if Seymour goes back to the flats more often. They've had some success there a couple of times.
Mooresville did against us as well. That's how they got back in the game.
Handoff up the middle, nowhere to go. And I think that was Ryan Piles for that Whiteland defense that came up with the stop.
Yeah, number 70, Ron Piles, is all over the place. Him and Lenario Greer, who's out of the game right now.
2nd and 10 for Seymour.
You're Coach Fisher. You just don't want guys to, with the cold air, you just don't want things to act up on you tonight that you've been battling all year potentially.
2nd down for the Owls. Handoff up the middle. This is Greathouse. Ball is loose, and Whiteland has it.
Wow.
Ball squirted out of there about 4 yards. And Greathouse on his feet and jogging slowly to the near sideline. Credit Greathouse. He was trying to drive forward for extra yards. Here's another look. Rubel hands it off. Greathouse had to make a jump move right at the line of scrimmage, and there you see as Welling strips it away.
I think he was down.
The Warriors come up with it. You may be right. I didn't see how close he was to having been down on the play, but Whiteland will take over, and we're already starting to see some new faces on the field.
Quarterback.
Handoff Singleton. Singleton with room. Singleton busts through the defense, and he's gone. The 10, the 5, touchdown, Whiteland.
Wow.
So Whiteland brings in the backup quarterback, and on the first play from scrimmage, Singleton from the motion takes it to the end zone. And Whiteland exploding offensively here in the first half. Again, one of our big storylines coming in was what would this break do to Whiteland's momentum?
Nothing.
They have been laser focused here tonight.
I was legitimately curious to see what would happen, and they have answered that very clearly. And if anything, you could say this is kind of like your game to get your groove back, but their groove was identified quickly in this game, and now you can kind of rest some guys going into the next week.
Here's another look. Singleton cuts it straight up the field.
What speed.
And the safety tried to make a play on the ball, but Singleton just gave him no possible angle as he burst through the hole. You know, something I've noticed tonight, when you see Whiteland running backs trying to get to the outside, oftentimes they've got a blocker in front. But one of the other things that they do a nice job of is exactly what Singleton did there, cutting it up when you get just beyond the outside of the tackle. And what that does is it gives the defense fits because you never know what version of that outside run you're going to see.
Yeah. These running backs use the moves quite well to help them go from being stopped to gaining a couple more yards in this game all the way. No matter if it's a 10-yard run or it's a 60, 70-yard run. I mean, Valentine and now Singleton both have just shown their skills and their success as a result.
6 minutes to go, first half. And DeWalt has had a busy first half, is back on to kick it away. Pennington and Drummond once again back deep. End over end kick taken by Drummond. Again, he's looking to get to the near side. This time he cuts it up, and he's tripped up on the play. I think he may have gotten a piece of his blocker there as he cut up the field. And Seymour will take over at about their own 25.
So if you're Coach Moore, with 5:54 left in the first half, I'll clarify it correctly, and you're down 49-0. I mean, I really think that that fumble was down after the contact this last drive, and you give up a 7 real quick off of it. But you just want your guys to go out and play well as much as they can and have something positive to end this game.
Drummond in motion, flags fly. Some sort of motion, probably a false start, and it is. And as you start to think about this Seymour team and what they will look like in the future, the good news there is a lot of young players getting experience this year. So Pennington and Perry have both started this year as freshmen at receiver for this Seymour program. Perry is a natural quarterback, so you wonder as Rubel graduates and moves on after this year, if maybe Perry becomes the quarterback moving into next year.
Yeah.
But you see some pieces, some young pieces especially for this team. They go back to the screenplay. Greathouse has some room, not as much as last time, but picks up a chunk of yardage on the play. Welling ran down the play, and it's going to bring up a 2nd down and 5 for Seymour.
Yeah, I'd run the screen and the flat to the sideline every time.
And at the half, Franklin is leading New Pal 14-3.
Well, New Pal has been a second-half team, as they've talked about. But there'll be no New Pal rule over there tonight.
So Franklin, a really good start. As Rubel is in all kinds of trouble. He's trying to run away from it. Throws it down the field dangerously. And it falls harmlessly to the turf. Brings up 3rd down.
Yeah, Josh Merriman was on a mission to try to take him down and just couldn't quite do it. But great pressure by Josh Merriman, the sophomore.
What an interesting year for Franklin. Up and down. They played Greenwood on the second to last game of the regular season, and Greenwood won that game going away. And Franklin talked in the paper afterwards about how disappointed they were and how they played. Then they weren't able to play their final regular season game because of COVID, so they also have not played in 3 weeks. And now they're leading New Pal at the half.
Yeah, I'll believe it did in the 3rd quarter if it's really still there.
And a completion here to Pennington. That ball seemed to float up in the air forever before it came into the hands of Pennington. Nickham on the tackle, but a 1st down for Seymour.
We both talked about it. Franklin is better than how they played in the second half against us. You could tell that. But I also think that's the game where we came alive and really just played at a whole other different level offensively without the turnovers in that second half of that game. Mario Greer's back out there.
1st and 10 here for Seymour. Clock at 4:40 to go in the 2nd quarter. Pennington the catch and driven out of bounds. Stanifer and Nickham both in on the play there for Whiteland. Second and 5 for Seymour. Again, the winner of this game will face the winner of that Franklin-New Pal game we were just talking about. That'll be next Friday night. New Pal, if they're able to come back and win, would come to Whiteland. Handoff Drummond. He fumbles. Plummer.
Mario Greer.
Oh, you're right. It's Greer. Picked it up. He tried to play the NFL rule there and stand up and run it into the end zone. His knee was down when he received the football, so Whiteland will take over at the point at which he received it, which was right about the 40-yard line.
This is just a tough situation all around now. I mean, I hate to say that. I mean, you want to, if you're Coach Fisher, you want to get your guys that are your second, third stringers some opportunities, but at the same time, you've really been able to do whatever you want offensively from the running back position and the wing back position.
And again, as you look out onto the field for Whiteland, a lot of new faces on the field.
Singleton is not out there now.
So Cody Atchley, the junior, has taken over at quarterback. Peyton Emberton in at running back. Dalton Murray remains in. Here's Emberton. Emberton finds room. Cuts it up the field. Emberton on to about the 20-yard line, and Whiteland continues to pound it up the field with their rushing attack.
It just shows you how much depth they have on the offensive line. Because no matter who the running back is, it comes down to blocking up there in front. And they find the gaps, and they take advantage of it.
Well, and keep in mind, tonight they're down 2 starters.
Yeah.
1st and 10 here for the Warriors. Bobbled snap. Ball is loose. And Seymour says they have it, and they do. So finally a break goes in favor of Seymour, and the Owls will take over with 3:31 remaining in the 2nd quarter.
So I want to make sure this is the 2nd quarter, right?
It is the 2nd quarter, confirmed.
So before I jump any farther here in my scenario here, with 3:31 left, let's see if the Owls can get some points here going in a half, because they do not get the ball to begin the second half. Whiteland does.
That is correct.
Okay. All right.
We will have the running clock for the second half. We had that in the Perry Meridian game, and Chris, you and I both were surprised as to how quick that went in the second half of that game. And Drummond unable to come up with it. He's disappointed in himself on that play. Rubel put it on the money. Drummond unable to come up with it. Brings up second down.
Yeah, he had some real estate there also if he would have got it.
You know, it's also interesting, Chris, on nights like tonight to think about how other states do their football playoffs when seeding comes into play and when not everybody makes the tournament. Personally, I like the way that Indiana does it. There are some scenarios that come up, like you see with Mooresville and East Central having to meet in the sectional semifinal to 4A top 5 teams. But also it leads to scenarios like tonight where you end up with some lopsided scores. Seymour right up the middle, and a gain of 6 or so on the play, going to bring up third down.
Yeah, I'm kind of torn on that. My biggest analogy is more to the basketball side, and I just think back to the days of getting the North Centrals and Lawrence North, the North Centrals and Pikes playing each other in Game 1 of sectionals, and you take away, or Hamilton Southeastern and Lawrence North there for a couple of years or whatever it was, and you want to see those in the championship games. You don't want to see them in night 1, then have a guy or a team that's 4-15 get in the sectional championship and be an ugly sectional championship. I mean, it is how the draw happens, but.
And an incomplete pass there on third down. Rubel put it too high for Pennington.
But I guess
the punt team will come on for Seymour.
Yeah, sorry, Morgan, but I guess also the reality is if you seed them, that opens the door to controversy on what seed you get and who's deciding those seeds and everything else. Yep. And are you going to have the whole training of who's going to seed them like you do for the NCAA, the men's basketball tournament, and then that preparation to make sure you make the best decision you can. And I guess that's why staying traditional probably is the best way to go. I mean, it's what we had, but I guess you're really going to do that. We don't have class basketball, but that's a whole nother discussion.
Fourth down here for Seymour. And the punt going to be downed at around the 40-yard line of Whiteland. So 2:38 to go now in the second quarter. Whiteland will take over there. Whiteland's last drive ended in a fumble. Bad snap or something there with the quarterback-center exchange. Gave Seymour back the football. They're unable to advance it. Now they punt it away, and Whiteland will take over.
And that'll be something Coach Fisher talks about at halftime is the exchange there and that snap. I mean, there aren't a whole lot of negative things to talk about in that half, but you want your second and third stringers, you want them to come in there and you want them to execute well because you're one play away from being in there with the first stringers.
Canyon Valentine now in the game for Whiteland. He'll get the carry here off the right side. Breaks a tackle, and the other Valentine runs for a first down here for the Warriors into Seymour territory.
Straight up the middle, had contact, made a little spin move, got another yard or two on it. First down, as you said.
Here's another look. Again, this is the younger brother of Chase. There was a nice video package put together by, I think it was Channel 8 this week, of Chase Valentine, and he also pointed out that he has an even younger brother who I believe is in middle school.
I have not seen that. I have to try to find that.
Oliver with the carry. Oliver driving forward. Oliver going to have a first down. And a nice run there by Jakari Oliver. And he's someone all season long that I had hoped the Warriors would go to more often. He got some carries in the Gibson Southern game and was really impressive. And you see there why. He was able to get to the hole and then drive forward.
We'll have to see if Lucas can tell us what department won the annual Halloween costume. Don't get me going about that controversy, but I'm going to guess it's a department that has like 11 teachers in it versus 2 or 3 if I had to guess.
Crowley on the carry. Breaks a couple of tackles. Going to have another first down here for Whiteland. Ball down to about the 20-yard line as we see the clock at 137.
Science Department won. I saw their picture. They did Jack Hanna's Wild Adventure. It's a great
First
picture.
and 10 here for Whiteland. Emberton back in, gets the carry. Bounces off the tackle. Emberton, far side. Emberton trying to get in, and he did. Touchdown, Emberton.
Oh, I hope we got this on replay here, but what a great run there. I thought he was stood up, but the next thing you know, he spins and gets out of it clean.
Here's another look. Watch this. Emberton, bottled up right up the middle, right here. He spins out of it.
Yeah.
And Seymour unable to chase him down, and Whiteland now up 55-0 with 1:09 to play in the first half.
Wow, what a run.
DeWalt's kick is up and good. And that was a really nice run by Emberton. One of the highlights of the night for sure.
How many runs do we have tonight that are 40 yards or more for touchdowns?
Mark
3?
Campbell doing our drive charts tonight, and he has filled up the page with all the different drives we've seen here in the first half. So 1:09 to go in the second quarter. Whiteland now leading 56-0.
Well, we'll have to have some extra time for our replays at halftime for a couple of these. It's just great blocking up front for the guys, and then Valentine and Singleton and others just taking advantage of it. I mean, they're playing on all cylinders. You hope we're going to leave some for next week.
Again, Franklin leading New Pal at the half. Sorry about that, Chris. Thinking back to the Whiteland-Franklin game, Whiteland won that game 45-21. And again, you mentioned it earlier. We both walked away feeling like Franklin was a better ball club than maybe what the score indicated in that game.
Absolutely, and I guarantee, like, we want New Pal, they want us. They know they were better than what they played here.
High end-over-end kick. Drummond receives it at the 10. Coming near side. And this time, Nick, I'm able to slow him down. Teammates come on and push Drummond out of bounds. Tanner, again, slow to get up on the play. He'll jog off to the other side of the field. And Seymour will take over. They have 1:01 to work with here on the clock. And as long as this first half has been, the second half is going to move quickly with that running clock. So
thinking about Lucas and IU football again. You think he knows who Trent Green is? I mean, he's an IU guy. But because he played in the NFL, probably. Thomas Lewis, remember him?
Greathouse makes the catch. Nickham immediately there to make the play.
Von Dunbar. Dave Schnell. Lee Corso as the quarterback. Not quarterback, as the coach, excuse me. Of course, he did take his team and get a picture at halftime once in front of the scoreboard because they were down like 49-0. So,
final 30 seconds of the first half, and it's an incomplete pass to the near side. Pennington, the intended receiver, brings up third down.
I think I'm giving Lucas a hard time because I'm realizing that I'm old. That's what it comes down to.
Third and 11 here for Seymour. Lucas throwing out an O.J. Simpson reference.
I can't bring that guy up on air. I don't think that's.
Rubel airs it out. Nickham looks back and picks it off.
Yeah.
Nice job by Ewan Nickham on the play.
Pretty sure you're going to see a quarterback kneel here on this one.
And Rubel got a lot of air under that, probably too much air under it. Tried to throw it early. And Nickham did a really good job of looking back, and because of that, he comes up with the interception. Warriors will take over at their own 42, 21 seconds left. And again, we've seen most of the backups in offensively for Whiteland.
Well, they're not doing victory formation.
Ashley will be under center, and it looks like he's missing a man here, at least from his expression. Canyon Valentine is the ball carrier.
Should be
got out close to the first down. 14.8 seconds remain now, and I would imagine Whiteland will let the time expire now.
I would imagine, but I'll be honest, I did anticipate them running that play. I thought it'd just be a kneel down.
The clock winding down, and that will do it for our first half. And the Warriors with a monstrous first half. They lead at 56-0. We'll take a timeout. When we come back, we'll catch you up on what happened in the first half, look through to some other scores from around the state, and get you ready to go for the second half of play. This is Whiteland Warrior football on the Warrior Beat Sports Network. DeBon is back deep here for Whiteland. He stands at about his own 5. Lucas, at some point, we got to get at least one more look at that Halloween costume you have on. Oh, he's telling us he deleted the clip. That can't be true.
It's okay. We'll have a meme out there for it later. a GIF, a GIF, whatever you want to call it.
Short kick. Griffith has it. Stays on his feet and is brought down at about the 35.
It's on the IHSA network permanently now.
Griffith has had a good night so far. The backup receiver has a couple of catches, had a really nice conversion on 3rd and long for Whiteland. And now the Warriors will come onto the field offensively for the first time. You'll see a number of younger faces out here for Whiteland, as we are suspecting that for the Whiteland starters, their night is over. Ashley will be at quarterback. Oliver and Emberton in the backfield. Murray takes the handoff. Murray, the first down, driving forward. Murray at midfield, a really nice run there. Yeah. Kept the feet moving late in that play and picks up the first down.
Yeah, nice run there, and I mean, it's just repetitive. I realize that. This is the first big injury of the night here for Mooresville. I think it's number 15, if I can see the number correctly. It is number 15.
A Seymour injury. That's Jay Abel, the free safety, on the first play of the second half. And you saw it as soon as the teams got up off the pile there. He stayed down, looked awkward there as he laid on his stomach. He's rolled to his back now, and the trainers are taking a look at him.
I think he got a stinger or a shoulder or something.
Yeah, there. Looking to be working out that left arm from what we can see.
So that's the good thing, that at least they're looking at the arm versus, and he's moving the legs. So, but when you got this kind of situation in the game, this is the last thing you want, is somebody getting hurt.
The trainers are taking a look at him. Both teams are retreating to their respective sidelines.
He's getting up slowly here.
Certainly hope that he is okay. In terms of attendance tonight, we were told it was 50% capacity. There do appear to be a few more people, or a few less people, I should say, in the crowd than what we've seen at some other home games. And able to walk off under his own power, thankfully. Does appear to be shaken up on the play. And Whiteland will resume play, 1st and 10 at the 50-yard line.
Yeah, they're home watching us next to the fireplace. Lucas was able to undelete his clip. Conspiracy.
Hand off Emberton. Off the left side. Emberton showing his quickness. Cuts it back near side.
He's gone.
Emberson.
He's gone.
The 20. Cutting it back again. Stays on his feet inside the 10. And Emberton, another impressive run. He had the late touchdown in that second quarter where he got caught up in some of the action and then spun out of it and scored the touchdown. A really impressive run there. And now it's 1st and goal for Whiteland. And an update, Franklin now leads 27-3 on New Pal.
Wow. I think you can probably make that the final decision on that one.
Murray looking for the far side.
Not going to get it. Yes,
Murray
he is.
gets past the oncoming tackler and gets into the end zone. Impressive play there for Murray. He's in for the touchdown, and Whiteland leads it 62-0.
Yeah, I don't think it's a full stiff arm there, but he did a nice job of getting a hold of that shoulder pad there and being able to turn the corner by using his leverage there.
Here's another look. Watch Murray. When you get to about right here, you wonder if he's going to be able to get past the oncoming tackler, and he finds a way to stay in bounds, get past the tackler, and get into the end zone.
And great work by our camera guys all this year as well.
DeWalt on for the PAT. Kick is up, and it's good. Whiteland leads at 63-0. And, Chris, in terms of how Franklin scored that touchdown, apparently it was on a 2-yard fumble return. So New Pal turns it over. Franklin picks it up, gets into the end zone. And you never think it's completely over till it's over, but it sure seems like New Pal, who has had an incredible amount of success over the last few years, may get knocked out in the first round by a Franklin team that thought they had a shot coming in. I think people really doubted them. And I can't imagine how many people are going to be surprised tonight when they see that score.
Yeah, it's going to be a shocker to the people who look at that name New Pal and think, wow, not necessarily know the personnel situation this year compared to the last few years. But at the same time, you're going to have to give a lot of credit to Franklin and how they came out prepared. Again, just like Whiteland being off for a couple weeks and having to come back and adjust. And that's definitely, and let's be honest, if that's what it comes down to, this is probably post-game real quick, but they're going to have been tested a little bit more refined based on the competition they've had potentially than, again, no offense here, but just how you had to execute in this game compared to that game over there.
Well, you think back 3 weeks ago for Franklin. They played a Greenwood team who is a good team, certainly, no question. But you would have never thought that Greenwood would have won over Franklin by the score that they did. The final in that game, I think Greenwood was in the 40s for that game, and I think Franklin only had 7 points. Their regular season finale then was canceled. Then they have the bye week last week, and then all of a sudden come out tonight and are up 27-3 on New Pal, the defending 5A champions. High end-over-end kick, and we've got a flag down.
Going to have offsides here. Illegal false start. Not offsides.
So somebody got there early for Whiteland.
Or in my world now, traveling.
And again, with this running clock, I think the only stoppages are for injuries. So even with this penalty and re-kick, the clock will continue to run. 7:50 to play in the third quarter. Whiteland now leads at 63-0. The Warriors came out and have looked sharp from the outset. They did fumble on one possession on a bad quarterback center exchange. Other than that, it's been awfully good for the Warriors tonight.
And that was the second stringers.
So DeWalt will try it again. Ball sits at Whiteland's 35. And this has been a scenario where Seymour has had a little bit of success. Drummond twice has had really solid returns. Here he is again. Starts from his own 20. Makes a nice move up from the outset. And going to get another nice return. In fact, gets across midfield on the play.
I love to see him get a touchdown on this drive.
And again, Seymour is coached by Tyson Moore in his first year. He is the son of Center Grove head coach Eric Moore.
And Eric Moore moved back to Indiana to be able to be closer to see his kids, including Tyson, play football. Versus being down in Florida, we had a big career going on down there as a coach.
Tyson played at Columbus North. First and 10 here for Seymour. Drummond, near side flat, makes a nice move. And going to have a first down for the Owls. That was something we saw Seymour do in the first half and find some success when they were able to get it into the flats on both sides of the field.
And I think that's what they need to stay with. To stay with that and then a couple of handoffs here once in a while. And that long passing game just has not been there tonight, but those outs have been. And the screen pass has been there as well.
Nice job there by Greathouse. Spun off the first tackle attempt. Still able to only get back to about the original line of scrimmage, and it brings up 2nd and 10. The Seymour team will finish the season 3-7 on the year. Their wins came in back-to-back-to-back weeks over Madison, Jennings County, and Bedford North Lawrence. The following week, they played their rival Brownstown Central, and that game, from what I understand, was a wild finish. They lost that game 43-42 as Greathouse goes off the right side.
Close to the first down. Nice cutback there.
And is brought down at about the 30-yard line. In reading about that Seymour-Brownstown Central game, there were 3 touchdowns scored in the final 37 seconds of the game. 1 for Seymour, 2 for Brownstown Central. And Seymour ended up losing that game 42-43. They lost the next week against New Albany 35-42. So they really feel like they could have easily been 6-3 coming into this game, as 3 of their losses were very close. And a really nice tackle there by Jacob Smith on the play for Whiteland. There is a flag that flies behind the play at about the 35.
Holding or chop block? Which one?
I would guess holding.
Yep. That's the way you make the big bucks there, Morgan. Got to keep the crazy guy to your far left. Make sure you notice I said far left so your father-in-law doesn't get mad at you.
So the penalty's declined. It's going to bring up 4th down. It'll be 4th and 7 here for Seymour. Rubel, the quarterback, transferred in after 2 years of playing at Columbus North. And from what I understand, this is his first year at quarterback. He also plays baseball, and you can see the big arm.
Yeah.
And one of the things that he talked about in some of the articles I read this week is just how he wishes he would have had more opportunities than just this year. Pass was complete. I think it was short of the first down marker.
Yeah, it is. By about 3 yards.
Dylan Fields, the junior, made the catch. Nice throw by Rubel and catch on the play by Fields, but they're short of the first down. So the turnover on downs will give it back to the Warriors, and it looks like Seymour, at least defensively now, playing some backups here as well.
Yeah, I get those guys, particularly those seniors, an opportunity for their last game, a chance to get out there.
And for Whiteland, we're seeing some of the third-teamers now. Oliver the carry here. Oliver stays on his feet, breaks a tackle, crosses midfield, still on his feet, and finally drugged down at about the Seymour 38-yard line.
That's a big boy.
I've been impressed with him all year, and another big run there for Jakari Oliver.
210-pound sophomore. Jakari did a nice run there. That's kind of an Ironhead Hayward kind of move. I don't know if Lucas knows who he is either.
And the quarterback in the game now for Whiteland is Kevin Denham, the 5'7" sophomore. Canyon Valentine in motion here.
And now it looks like third stringer's out there.
So false start against Whiteland. Quarterback goes off the field and Emberton comes on. So I wonder if Emberton's going to play quarterback here. We normally see him at tailback. Or maybe the quarterback's just running over to get the play call. I think that's what that is. And here he is coming back onto the field.
I don't see Coach Fisher doing the Wildcat very often.
I've not seen it. They do have a new thing. So
I know I haven't been at my best tonight, but I don't remember that ever happening.
No, I don't think it has. First and long here for Whiteland. Handoff, Canyon Valentine finds some room, and then he's thrown down at about the 32.
Just how much room they get, or how many extra yards they get initially because of the push the offensive line gets, no matter who the back is. The offensive line makes that contact initially, and they're already taking a yard or two forward in most cases. This is probably the smallest defensive line they've also played all year.
Certainly one of. Second and 4, final few seconds of the third quarter. Emberton has it up the middle.
And that will do it for the quarter.
Going to be close to, but I think short of a first down. And that will bring us to the end of the third quarter. Again, a running clock, so things are going to move quickly. Whiteland leading 63-0, so one score for the Warriors in that third quarter of action. We'll take a break, come back with the fourth quarter. This is Whiteland Warrior football on the Warrior Beat Sports Network. And back from Whiteland as we head into the fourth quarter. Warriors lead at 63-0. The winner of this game will face the winner of the Franklin-New Pal game. And that game, as it's entering the fourth quarter, has Franklin up 27-11. So New Pal did score since we last checked in on that game. But still quite a bit of work to do.
So that's interesting. They went for the 2-point conversion because now they only have to score twice more versus having 3 more scores. Doing the whole Tom Allen philosophy, I guess.
Third and short here for Whiteland. Valentine in motion.
False
and
start.
A flag down.
False start.
False start against the Warriors. So this third-team offense has had a few penalties thrown against them. Ball moves back to about the 34-yard line and makes it 3rd and 6 on the play. Handoff Emberton. Drug down from behind. Nice defensive play there by Seymour.
Yeah, nice defensive play there. I think you let DeWitt kick it. I don't think they will, but I think if you want to let him have the experience of doing it, I don't think you could fault for doing it.
Going to be 4th and 4.
It'd be a 49-yard field goal.
Handoff Emberton. Emberton driving forward. And I think he's got the first down. You know, when you think about some of the young talent on this Whiteland team, you think about Emberton, you think about Crowley, you think about Hughes on the defensive side of the football, Jakari Oliver, Peyton Emberton. Certainly seems to be a program with a lot of talent coming up. The JV freshmen, 8th grade and 7th grade teams all did well this year also, from what I understand.
But that's what it's been year after year after year since we started doing these broadcasts in 2012. And, again, that's just a credit to Coach Fisher's system. I mean, you keep talking about you got guys that are freshmen, sophomore, juniors ready to take over, and the future's bright. But it just keeps cycling through, and that's a credit to these guys and to the coaching staff. And got another guy down.
Injury here for Seymour. I think that was number 14.
Looked like he was holding his ankle initially, but
Seymour lost Jay Abel, a senior defensive back, earlier to an injury, and now they have another player down. We certainly hate to see this.
It's hurting, yeah. You want to take a quick timeout here?
9:53 to go in the game. Lucas, if we're able to, let's take a quick timeout and come back.
It's a big game by downloading the IHSAA TV app for free on any device. For your iPhone or Apple TV, check the App Store. On your Android or Android TV device, load up the Google Play Store. Have a Roku or Amazon Fire Stick? We have the app for you. Check us out on Facebook Live, Twitter, or YouTube Live by searching for IHSAA TV. Or as always, click to ihsaatv.org for quick and easy access to your favorite IHSAA live and archived events.
And back from Whiteland, 9:53 to go. The injured player for Seymour able to get up and walk off the field. That's number 14. We don't see a number 14 on our roster in front of us, so I'm not sure what the name is for that player. It'll be 2nd and 3 here for Whiteland. Handoff up the middle. This is a ball carrier that we've not seen so far tonight. We'll try to get a number and then a name for you when we can.
That was Greer, wasn't it? 41?
47.
Oliver. Was it 47 or
47 on the ball carrier.
Oh, it was 47. You're right.
Mason Giddens. And we do have an update from the Franklin-Newpal game. Newpal scores on a 69-yard pass play, so that makes it 47 or 27-17. Franklin still leading, and 8:30 to go in that game. So the Dragons are fighting their way back.
Question is, do you go for the 2 or just get the extra point and move on?
Carry off the right side, and first down for a Whiteland ball inside the 10-yard line now. Brings up 1st and goal. And I believe that last carrier was Devin Armstrong, the sophomore running back. Lots of young personnel getting carries here tonight, which is great to see in a postseason environment. Handoff off the right side. That again is Armstrong. Brings up 2nd down. Ball sits just outside the 5-yard line. Handoff up the middle and met immediately. That was Ryan Elmore, a senior defensive back for Seymour, who made a nice play on the ball. Clock down to 7:15 to go. And going to bring up 3rd and goal here for Whiteland. Emberton in motion. Ball goes up the middle. Ball came out late. And I think the play was well over by the time that happened. Going to bring up 4th and goal.
I think you got to kick the field goal here.
And DeWalt will come on. It looks like they will kick it here.
Yeah, it gives DeWalt some experience, and plus, if you get the touchdown by going forward on 4th down, it's just insult to injury.
So DeWalt will come on to try it from the center of the field. And about a 23-yard attempt here for DeWalt. High snap. Kick is up, and it's good. DeWalt drills it. That is his 4th field goal of the season. He's 4 of 4 now, I believe. And that makes it Whiteland 66 and Seymour 0 with now 6 minutes to play.
Nice job by Quincy Manga for trying to get that high snap pulled down quick enough to get that kick up there, because that was high.
Game of the night in the state was Mooresville East Central. Mooresville leads that game at the half 26-14. Only at halftime because of some sort of lighting issue. Not lighting issue at Mooresville.
I'm sure East Central's thrilled to know they're going to get home about 2:30 in the morning.
And we talked about that earlier. East Central last week had to go to Silver Creek. This week they have to go to Mooresville. So those are 2 long trips, especially just in the sectional round. And this ties the stadium record for points with 66. And with this running clock, you would think this is probably going to be it in terms of Whiteland scoring. Be nice to see Seymour get some points on the board here late.
Good kick.
Drummond from the 10. Makes a move. Flag flies down. And Drummond brought down at about the 30-yard line.
Drummond's had some nice runbacks, though, here from about the second quarter on tonight. That one's no fault of his own for the flag.
Flag against Seymour, so that'll back him up.
I did not realize that we had a flag icon for our graphics. See, I've been usually so focused in the game, unlike tonight, or my mind has been everywhere else. I'm looking at number 5, whoever it is there on the Seymour bench, just that kind of summarizes the night, sums up the night for Seymour.
Yeah, it really does.
It's one of those games that you don't want to remember and be in your last game potentially. Just I don't know what year he is, but you feel for the guy.
So 1st and 10 here for Seymour. Clock approaching 4 minutes to go now. Rubel to throw, near side, and it's dropped. Whiteland with second and third team defenders in the game now as well. And for Seymour, it really seems to be a mixture of first and second teamers offensively for them. There are some receivers that I've not seen much of this evening on the field, including Ryan Elmore, who we've seen some on defense, who was the intended receiver on that last play.
And the guy who was sitting down on the Seymour bench made the comment, that's Eli Abner, the defensive back, who is a senior. So obviously reflecting about the unfortunate last game result.
Whiteland interior comes up with the stop on that play. Going to bring up 3rd down. Clock under 3 minutes now. Rubel is a senior quarterback. Both running backs that we've seen tonight, Drummond and Greathouse, are seniors. A lot of the talent at receiver, though, is young. 2 true freshmen have started there. Rubel
nice move.
Evading pressure. Rubel looking down the field, fires, and that would have been a great catch. Unfortunately, he couldn't come up with the play on the near sideline. That was Thomas Frazier. Brings up 4th down. 2 minutes to play. I would imagine Seymour will go ahead and go for this. And if Whiteland gets it back, I think it's time now where you go to the victory formation and take a knee. So the Warriors going to move on. They'll play for a sectional title next Friday night. At last check, Franklin was up on New Pal 27-17. If that result holds, Whiteland would go to Franklin. And timeout Seymour.
Too many guys in the field. Substitution was coming up.
So Franklin still holding on to that 27-17 lead, 6:24 to go in that game. And that would be the upset of the night in the state if Franklin able to hold on and knock New Pal out.
Isn't Colonel Sanders from originally Indiana down near Floyd Central and New Albany? Or
I don't know that.
Clarksville, he's from that area. He's from southern Indiana and down by the river.
Okay.
And then moved to Kentucky. But he was born in Indiana. See, there it is.
The famous undeleted clip.
Somebody's going to make that won't be me. I don't know how to do it.
Rubel to throw. 4th down.
Going for all of it. His last
Fires
pass.
way down the field. And it's broken up. 90 seconds to play. Turnover on downs will give it to Whiteland, and I would imagine Whiteland will take a knee.
Yeah, and I'm sure Fisher's having that conversation right now.
A disappointing night for this Seymour team. They will finish their year 3-7. Whiteland going to move to 8-1. One thing I'm not sure that we've mentioned tonight, Whiteland did finish with a share of the Mid-State Conference title. They shared that with Decatur Central and with Mooresville.
Yeah, and I think he didn't get the recognition it deserved because there wasn't that last game of the year to make it be played to help recognize it. I mean, and let's be honest, Greenwood's the kind of team with that rushing attack they had that you don't know what that game would have turned out. But I think Whiteland definitely deserved to have a share of that based on how they played since that Decatur game. Last snap here of the game. Technically, they have 0.8 of a second, it looks like.
And apparently New Pal has the ball back with about 4 minutes to go, still down 10. So New Pal trying to find a way to come back. And we have a final now here at Whiteland. The final 3 seconds or so, and the Warriors will get the victory. 66-0 is our final. Warriors with a really strong start. For Seymour, they found a little bit more success in the second quarter. Unfortunately, they were not able to get any points on the board. So Seymour will exit the 5A tournament. Meanwhile, Whiteland moves to the Sectional 14 Championship next Friday night. We'll take a break, come back with our post-game show. This is Whiteland Warrior Football on the Warrior Beat Sports Network.